Morena, kia ora everybody, what's up? It's Robett. Welcome to Robett Live. Another day. Hope the week's been okay. A little drop down from 2.5 to 5 if you're in Auckland. I'm really excited about today's guest. So excited that I sent him text messages and emails and links, and then old mate forgot it. And so here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the bro, Mike King. How are you, mate?
Morena, brother.
This
Morena.
doesn't look like your office, but you've been going to the gym, so that counts.
Yeah, well, my car basically is my office these days. I don't have a permanent office. I just, airport and car and get around the schools and get around workplaces, trying to improve the mental health of the nation, I guess.
But I appreciate you pulling over the car last minute. Are you parked safely somewhere, or is this kind of sketchy?
No, I am parked in some kind of retail outlet area, so I'm good to go, brother.
So I want to jump straight into something. You haven't been to the gym in how many decades? And how is the fourth press up going?
22 years. I had my first session on Monday. I couldn't walk Tuesday. I went back Wednesday, and yeah, super sore. But today I was pretty good. On Wednesday, this is how bad it was, bro. On Wednesday, it was very ego bruising. It's a big class of people there. I could only get 3 sit-ups done, bro. 3. And it was like, man, it was, it's a huge hit to your ego when you're watching other people not only doing sit-ups but with weights. And the old me would have quit. I would have just been too embarrassing. But I went back again today and pushed through, got 20 done today. So I'm pretty stoked with myself.
Shit, yeah, mate. You got a 7x return on that, mate. You're on fire.
What
was the driver for? Because I know to change the topic a little bit, but still on the same thing, as I remember, I'd put on a few kegs and the bro Monty Beetham was saying, he's like, mate, you're fighting fit, you get your body right, your brain gets sharper, and you'll be a weapon out there in the mix. What was the core reason you decided to jump back into gym life, or to try and get fit after 3 years? That's like that's big, right? It's huge.
Well, I'll be brutally honest, brother. Snap Fitness are doing a 28-day challenge to raise money for our charity, and
cool.
I'm not going to encourage people to get out there and do something I ain't going to do myself. So, I put my big boy pants on and went out there, and it doesn't start till next Thursday, but I just thought I needed to at least let them know where I was at before I started. And the challenge, you don't have to do it at the gym. You can do it in the hotel room. They send you a little wee schedule on the app, and then you just go ahead and do it, bro. So I did a big diet last year, went from 107 kg down to 87 kg in 7 months. That was probably a little bit too much. So I'm sitting now around 96. And I just felt much sharper, with the change of diet. So my diet was really simple. If you can't kill it or grow it, you can't eat it. So that was bread gone.
Oh, okay.
You can't kill it, you can't grow it, you can't eat it. So, and no sugar. So that was my whole
the sugar
motto.
Would do it. The sugar gets you. And were you doing like any sort of intermittent fasting type stuff, or extra hydration,
no.
Was it just straight into it?
No, just three squares a day and a couple of nuts in between. And breakfast is the hardest one because you usually have cereal or porridge or something. So that was super tough, but because you have to cook. And it was easy at first. I thought, man, I can eat these omelets every day, but after 3 days, your body rejects eggs. So but mentally, I never felt better in my life. Didn't have that afternoon lag where you just wanted to. But as in all things in life, brother, had that bike crash, and then in the recovery started eating the wrong food again, and so I just felt myself going downhill. So here we go. Along comes this challenge, so might as well change the diet back and do a bit of exercise, and let's see what happens.
Dude, good on you, man. Obviously this week, it's, I was thinking about, obviously we're going to catch up and I didn't talk to you in a minute, but I was, last week I caught up with a couple of sort of ex-pro snowboarders who are now, I guess, out of that world and into it.
Yep.
And then when I knew we were going to catch up, then I thought about for a second, I was like, well, what's that same transition piece? And I was wondering, what's it like, rewind back 22 years, you wake up and you're Mr. Funny. You wake up today in 2020 and it's Mr. Save Lives, real deep, gnarly shit, probably one of the most non-humorous topics of all time. How does it feel to wake up in 2020 with a different headset from 2 decades ago, just at a total macro?
Well, 2 decades ago, or just over 2 decades ago, my dream came true. The 1,000,000 to 1 shot. I won lotto. I was on stage making people laugh. My whole life, I have craved being a comedian. From the day I was 8 years old and I told my first joke and people laughed, was the first day I ever felt validated. It was the first day I ever felt valued. And that 8 years old, that was day one of my comedy career. But it was also, I realized now, day one of my downfall, because that was the first day that I started to get my self-esteem from the approval of other people. To me, laughter was love, and without realizing, so that was my goal. It was the first time a mate of mine told a joke in front of a whole lot of other kids, and they were just taking the piss out of him and trying to make him tell a joke again. No one laughed, and as they were doing that, I jumped in and I told exactly the same joke, and everyone fell about laughing. And I thought, man, the buzz I got from that was just... So from that day forward, all I wanted to be was a stand-up comedian. So, just over 22 years ago, I make my way onto the stage for the very first time and smashed it. It was such a buzz. It was at Kitty O'Brien's in 1994. What I didn't realize at the time was one of the greatest comedy writers and comedians and social commentators of all time, Ben Elton, who wrote The Young Ones, who wrote Help with Blackadder, written heaps of books. He was in New Zealand doing a book tour, and he came up the stairs and heard the intro that I got and stood at the door and watched. And he came out the back afterwards, and we had this. It was my first ever gig, and he said to me, that's not your first time. I said, yeah, that was my first time. He goes, no, you can't be your first time. I said, that was my first. He said, if that was your first time doing stand-up comedy, you're going to be famous. And I was like, man. So my whole life I had worked towards this dream of being a stand-up comedian. Little did I realize back then that stand-up comedy dream was setting me up for the job that I was meant to do, which is the job I'm doing now. So I would never have picked it. I would never have picked it 20 years ago that I'd be doing this. And, a lot of things had to happen for this to happen. If it hadn't been for the lovely Auckland District Court judge who gave me 200 hours of community service for riding my motorbike without a license. I mean, what kind of a jerk off gives someone 200 hours community service? And I was pissed at the time, man. I was so, what the hell, everyone else, I know bloody molesters who get less than that. But when I was sitting home fuming, I got a phone call from the school saying, hey, can you come up here and give us a talk? We've lost a few kids to suicide. And up I went, walked into the school thinking I'd just tell them some jokes and tell them to stop killing themselves, and just knew that it wasn't the right time for jokes. So just started sharing my story about my battles through my whole life with my my inner critic, that little voice that undermines your logical thinking. And what I discovered later on was I was probably the first flawed adult in a lot of these kids' lives. And instead of doing what adults normally do and going in there and telling them what they're doing wrong and telling them what they can do better, instead of doing that, I was talking about myself and my journey, which allowed them to recognize themselves in my journey and take off their masks and and start talking about their lives and opening themselves up to me. And it was, our kids are so such an amazing generation of young people out there, and we're stifling their growth with our constant picking up on the negative things that they're doing. But if you show vulnerability to a young person, give them something they can hurt you with, and for me that was telling them that, quite often I cry myself to sleep. I'm indecisive at all the time, despite what they're seeing on the telly at the time was this, aggressive, confident person. But by taking off that mask, they took their masks off and they showed me how empathetic, how connected, how intelligent they really were with their questions, and how caring they were. It was a mind-blowing experience for me. And as I was driving home, I was, just as I'd shown them, just as they recognize their story, their life and my story, I recognize my life and theirs, because when they were talking to me about their parents and some of the things that was going on for them, I spoke to 5 kids who are on suicide watch. And as they were talking to me about their life, I said, my question was, have you talked to your parents? Have you talked to your teachers? And they were like, no. I said, why not? Because every time you talk about them, they make it about them and they just make you feel worse. And I was like, all right, I've got 5 kids. Give me an example. Da, da, da. And I was like, oh, shit, I do that. Da, da, da. I do that. I do that. I do that. And so I'm driving home and I'm thinking on the way home, oh my God, my poor kids. It was a game changer for me. And I got home and I said to my wife, man, I love this. She goes, well, good thing you do, because 4 other schools have heard about the talks that you did today and they want you to go and do that. So next thing, I was doing my 200 hours in schools. About a month later, my probie rang me up and said, hey, man, you don't have to do those schools anymore. I was like, hell no, man, I'm never quitting.
Yeah. So the it's almost like a journey from kind of like humor to the heart, like the skill set gave you this talent for humor, but in reality it was the skill set to actually the caring and going to the heart
to communicate, bro.
Yeah.
To communicate and connect. We're so quick in this country because of our medical model of mental health. We're so quick to give people labels, this. Once I give you the label depressed, ching ching, it's like ringing the till, bro. Anxiety, it's a mental health issue. Now I can start ringing the till on you. Bipolar, that's 3 sevens, brother. You've just hit the jackpot. Money's raining in, and I'm so tired of the way that we medicalize everything. Depression and anxiety, we treat both of those things, right? We're trying to treat, but that's treating the symptoms. It's not looking at the cause. What drives these behaviors? Why are so many people in this country depressed and anxious? And you don't have to dig very far to find some clues. For example, the way we work today is having a devastating effect on the mental health of not only us, of our kids. We're all expected to put on our perfect faces and shoot from the 3-point line and nail it 100%. And everyone's talking themselves up. So we're all wearing masks. We're all running around wearing masks and pretending we've got our shit together. As I say to the kids, man, the first rule of mental health: no one's got their shit together. Now we think depression and anxiety is the number 1 problem in mental health today. It's bullshit. That's the result of the number 1. The number 1 problem in mental health today, Robert, is an overactive inner critic. That little voice that has you second guessing the things you do, say, and see every day. Confident people, their inner critic. That confident people are always making it about other people. For example, if I'm walking down the hallway to work, I pass you, I say, hey, Robert, you keep your head down and you keep walking, right? A confident person, their inner critic or their alert system, they will go, oh, shit, Robett's a bit off today. I better go and check in and make sure he's okay. A person with self-esteem issues, rejection issues, someone like me who's never felt like they were good enough, other people were always better, despite the mask that I was wearing. I walked past. Hey, Robett, you walked past me. Oh, man. Told you Robett doesn't like you, bro. That guy is always, so I'm constantly overthinking things, and it's always about me. Now, if that little inner critic stays with you long enough and ruminates over the things that you're seeing and getting wrong reads on everything that you're seeing, over time, man, that's depressing. That's depression. If your inner critic is constantly telling you that people are gossiping about you and saying bad things about you to the point where you can't go out in public anymore, that's called anxiety. But the root cause of all of that is an overactive inner critic. So how do we get here? Well, the way we work, bro, you know what it's like. You're sitting there, you go to a work meeting, the boss comes in and he goes, right, pays lip service, great job there, great job there. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Now, 85% of our time is focused on everything that's negative, right? We're always focusing on the negative. No matter what your job title, anyone who's watching this, no matter what your job title is, we've all got different job titles. I'm an ambassador, you're a CEO, there's road sweeper. But no matter what, we've all got different job titles, but our job descriptions are the same now. We are all risk managers. When the boss gives you something, you've got to come up with a risk management plan. What's the risk here? What's the risk to me? What's the risk to the company? What's the risk to the customer? What's the risk to the environment? What's the risk to the children? Risk. Now, the problem with risk management is this. 99% of what everyone does every day is fine, but no one cares about what you're getting right. We are firmly focused. 99% of our energy is focused on what could go wrong, what's just gone wrong, or what's going wrong right now.
Well, it's defense, not offense, right?
Yeah. So we're always focusing on the bad things. And the person that's focusing on the bad things never talks about the bad things that they've done, the wrong things that they've done. They never talk about their feelings. They never talk about their uncertainty. They're always talking about what you got wrong because that's what they're getting back. So, and opinionated journalism is another one. Everyone's got an opinion now, and we're entitled to our opinion. But when you're saying your opinion, you're putting someone else down all the time. Now, people don't know the net result of all of this. So if I come into your office, right, you come into my office and say, hey, Mike, what are you doing now? Oh, I'm doing those 5 things you asked me to do, Robett. Well, I need this, I need this blinking report on my desk at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, it's 4 o'clock now. Yeah, I need it at 8 o'clock. So I'll put the stuff. No, I need that done as well. But do that. So now I go home, right? I'm sitting at my computer. I'm stressed. I'm plugging away at this thing here. Kids come along. No, please. Daddy's busy. Daddy's busy. I've just got to finish this, Bob. I'll be with you. Yeah, in the morning. Please, let Daddy finish. So, now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm on draft 472. I'm halfway through my second bottle of Shardy. I know I've got to go to sleep. I go to sleep. I can't sleep for an hour. I'm up at 4 now. I'm back at that computer. I'm typing away. Kids wake up. Daddy. Oh, please, Bubba. I'm not just when I get home tonight. I promise when I get home tonight, right? You look at it finally at 8 o'clock in the morning. You think, wow, that's pretty good. You take it into Robett. Robett looks at it and goes, yeah, that's okay. That needs fixing. Fix that. Great first draft. And now I'm walking up, fucking first draft. Now I'm feeling like I'm not valued. I'm feeling like nobody cares. You've paid lip service to the stuff I got right. Do you know how hard I work? So we're all feeling like we have no value anymore. We're all feeling like we're disappointing people. Now, I finally get home that night. I'm feeling like, nobody cares about me. I walk into the house and suddenly there's a power shift without me even realizing this. And suddenly I'm the CEO. And all you little bastards work for me. Who left that sock on the floor? How many times I told you not to leave that sock on? Who did this? Who did that? Kids come home. They'll tell me about 5 things that happened in their day. 4 amazing, 1's bad. What do I focus on? What the hell do you
Why
mean
is that
you
a thing?
failed that maths test? I told you. I got 4 tries today, Dad. Yeah, should have got 5, mate. What about that pass? This is the sorts of thing that this is the fertile ground that the inner critic grows in. But meantime, we're all wearing our perfect masks. We're putting up our cup of coffee on Instagram. We're putting up got our shit together post, which
Hashtag
is
blessed.
fine.
Hashtag blessed.
Which is fine if you've got some miles under your belt, right? And you've been down this road before. But what about our kids who are sitting there with their masks on, who are pretending they've got their shit together, and then we're going, ba-da-da, you're useless, you're hopeless, and then how we're dealing with all of this is, it's so devastating, So no one deals with facts anymore. That no one's including the voice of the people in mental health. So you've got academics and clinicians. But you've got academics and clinicians working endlessly, right? But on the other side of that, you've got the people, and the people's voice is not being heard. We feel like we're being shut out of the conversation. For example, the academics and the clinicians, the message is from them, hey, reach out and ask for help. Well, here's the fact that they haven't talked about. 80% of people who are in crisis, whether it's suicidal or just serious crisis, never ask for help ever. Which is why when there's a suicide, we're all surprised, we're all shocked, because I'm wearing my mask. I'm the life of the party. I'm the party guy. I'm always giving love to everyone else, right? So 80% of people never ask for help. And when you drill down and ask why, because I'm worried about what other people will think. I'm worried about what other people will say. And I'm worried about what other people will do with the information. In other words, they're worried about us, Robett. They're worried about society, how society is going to react. And our message to them, hey, if you're having problems, reach out and ask for help. I just told you I'm scared of sharks, and your solution is, hey, swim in that pool of sharks and help might be there. It's ridiculous. Our messaging should be, what are you doing, Mr. In a good space right now? What are you doing to make it okay for your mates to ask for help? And that's not about, hey, putting up a post on Facebook going, hey, guys, just reaching out to anyone that's suicidal. I'm here for you. I can help you. Just contact me. It's not
the
about
public pitch.
Don't tell me. Show
private
me.
back channels, yeah.
Yeah, show me. So we need to be saying to people, what are you doing to make it okay to ask for help? Now, how do you know that you're the problem? I'm talking to men in particular here. If you haven't had another man come to you in the last 2 years and talk about his emotions with tears in his eyes and ask for your advice, you're the problem. We all have problems. I get people coming to me all the time. But if you haven't had a mate or a group of mates, actually show emotion and say, I've got this issue, you're the problem. And it's not that you're a bad person. I'm worse than most of you. Google me, you'll see, man. I'm a shit of a person. But the only difference between me and you is I've made myself emotionally available. How have I done that? Not by saying, hey, reach out, by making myself vulnerable and talking about my inner critic and talking about my problems. That's how you do. You make yourself available by making yourself vulnerable and leading by example. Now, I'll finish on this, bro, because I got to run. But, people want to know how to start a mental health conversation, right? Everyone's saying, like, just talk. Well, how do you have that conversation? I mean, people think you should just talk about your problems. But if you come to me and say, hey, Mike, how are you? Robett, I'm so glad, mate. Sit down. As a child, no one wants that conversation, right? It's uncomfortable. I don't know how to deal with this. So what I'm asking everyone to do is let's normalize the biggest problem in mental health today, which is the inner critic. So how do we have that conversation now? Really simple. You come to me and say, hey, Mike, how's your day? Shit, Robett, my fucking inner critic is killing me today. Instantly, you're going to go, oh, this is good. What's it saying? So, I walked past Bob today in the hallway, and Jesus Christ, my inner critic, and he didn't look at me, and my inner critic went, oh, Bob hates you. He's always hated you. And my voice of reason's go, oh, Bob, nah, shut up, Bob. Bob hates you. And then your friend, he might turn around and go, oh, did you know Bob's kid fell off the playground yesterday and he got a broken arm? That might be on his mind, Yeah. So I might get more information on the one hand. But point number two, I'm letting this other person know that I have an inner critic. He has an inner critic too, and maybe he'll feel comfortable about opening up and talking.
What's the Trojan horse about it, right? It's the Trojan horse of
brother.
It's the exactly that. I know you've got a boost and tap. I was going to ask how do you deal with the weight of all of this? There's been,
In the beginning, it was a killer, bro. In the beginning, because I was trying to fix everyone, right? I was trying to. So my
can't scale you.
Yeah, my motto is this: I can't fix you, I can't take your problems on, but I can pathway you to the help that you need. So if you come to me with a problem, tell me what's going on, but I'm not going to take it in and carry it. It's information that I can use. Right, you need to speak to this person. Let me find out who I can guide you to, an expert. Like I can't take your problem on and I can't fix you. I'm not qualified to take your problem on or fix you. All I'm qualified to give you is unconditional love and hope. What does that look like? By giving you my time. Often when I say to people, go and see someone, we said, so you need to go and see someone. If it's someone close to me and I can connect, I go with them. Because quite often when you say to someone, go and get some help, what they're hearing is, you're not worth my time. You're not worth it. The most valuable thing you can give to anyone is time to sit and listen. And it's perfectly okay to go, holy shit, I don't even know what to do with that. But I thank you for sharing it with me. And let's work on something where we can get you to a place where you need to be.
No, that's awesome, brother. The very quickly, I know you've got a boost because you've got that other thing you got to do, is 1,000 letters come out. You're a bit frustrated with the lack of distribution or acknowledgement from certain
Again, brother, it's the people's voice being ignored because because a bunch of bureaucrats, academics and clinicians think that I was a naughty schoolboy and went out and did a project without their permission, and we don't care if it saves lives. We told you not to do it. You're a naughty boy, and we're not even going to read it, but it could save. I don't care that it could save lives. You never got our permission. And this is the problem. These people that think that they are the only way. Well, guess what? With our rising suicide figures and our mental health figures, if they were on, if their KPIs were taken into account, every single one of those bastards would be fired. Now, I don't want them fired. All I am saying is we are a legitimate voice in this. We are the first responders. And if you don't include us in your studies, and if you don't listen to our opinion, we will rebel. And no one wins.
No, because I put a post up saying, whoever wins the next election, I hope they could drip down on the mental health spending, because it's clearly that the long tail of COVID is going to have a pretty significant mental health impact for the nation. You commented below and said, the money's there, it's being basically spent wrong and stuffed. And I asked a bunch of people around it.
$1.9 billion. And I guarantee you 0.9 of that $1 billion is spent on covering us and risk management and bureaucracy and people lining their pockets. It's terrible. And like OIA it, Robett. I dare you to OIA the Ministry of Health and go, where's the $1.9 billion being spent? Because I can't see it everywhere. And all you'll get is thousands of pages of redacted pieces of paper, just wasted ink. And once you get through it all, you'll still have no idea where that money's gone. It's ridiculously impossible to find out.
I've seen the same thing happen over and over with those that care so passionately about something, unfortunately having to operate consistently outside of the ecosystem, which has been built and paid for to be doing the thing that they care about. It's happened in sport, it's happened in business, it's happened in councils, it's happened in Māori, it's happened in entrepreneurship, it's happened just ... I know you've got to go, brother. I want to do this again. Let's line up another one because we've got more things we can get into, but I appreciate your time and always good chatting, my friend, and good luck. I think next week you're probably going to you'll be at 30 press ups by the kickoff of this thing,
brother.
mate.
I'm hoping.
Brother.
Love you, man. Keep up the great work.
Love you, brother. Thanks, bro. Talk soon, man. All right, bro. Peace. The bro, Mike King, such a flippin' G. Also, totally useless on the calendar because he totally forgot that we were on after we'd been texting and messaging, so I had to pull over on the side of the road after his gym session. Jingle bells. Yeah, Mike King, New Zealander of the Year, absolute maverick in the landscape, cares a lot about so much and so many. But the great thing with the best bit I love with my crew is they're so into their thing that they can just flip and send it. I don't even feel that was an interview. He just flip and sent it for half an hour, and I think it's flipping great. Before we kick off into number 2, we have 1 minute pitch. I hope you're ready, friends. I don't know what you're going to say, but it better be bloody good. Ready to jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, how are you, brother?
Hello. Hello, Robett. How are you?
Good, my friend. I don't have a flipping clue what you're about to say, but you've got 1 minute. It better be bloody epic. I'll set a timer here, and we'll get you up and go. Make sure, I've seen a few of these roll out now. Make sure you give some type of call to action with the website, the name of a business, maybe potentially the business model, and just, knock some shit out quick. All right. Ready, my friend? I'm going to put this timer. I'm really hyped on this, mate. I hope you crush it. All righty. It's all you in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Franz, and I am the lead host and presenter for a podcast video series called To the Sky. Because I felt like there was something missing from CV's personality, and I feel like that's a big one for me. So I decided to create a platform to help young up-and-comers such as myself or recent graduates to stand out by showcasing their achievements, their projects, and what they have learned through a digital format in a relaxed and safe atmosphere. Now, I feel like this is such a great benefit for the viewer because if you are a recruiter or a team lead looking for a new member, you get a chance to put a personality and a face next to a CV. See, I don't think this would replace a CV, but they should work together in tandem in better explaining who you are trying to reach out to. And I feel like this provides a great benefit for the people coming on to the series because they get validation and feedback of our interview process. So I guess you can find my video series on LinkedIn. That's where I usually post them.
Boom.
How did that sound?
Pretty good, mate.
Thank you.
So how does it? What's the website?
So currently I have it on my blog post, franslom.wordpress.com. It's where I publish my videos and is where I publish some articles about the people that come on. I also usually post it out on my LinkedIn, which is just search me up at Franz Lamiba or To the Sky. You should be able to find them. Yeah.
There you go. Nice, man. Good stuff. I'll give you some claps.
Thank you.
Lamiba, Lomibao.
Ibao. Yep. Thank you.
Yep. I just read your name back, making it look like I actually knew how to spell it. Totally don't give me credit. That's awesome, bro. Good stuff. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you soon.
Thank you very much.
Sure, brother.
See ya.
Boom, there you go. Friends, game on. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, claps up. Oh for awesome.
Not in Guatemala now, Dr. Robett.
It is Ollie Bennett. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Dude, Mike came in hot. I liked it.
He did. It's good.
I like it.
All passionate people do.
I like it. How
Can
are
I
you
ask
doing?
you a question? Well, hold on. First, before we kick off, can I ask you a question from that interview?
Yes.
Do you know what an OAA is?
Yes, because someone else has been trolling another person that I know, posting about OIAs, but I think, is it Official Information Act something?
Beautiful, you got it. Because I was watching and I was like, oh, Mike coming in with the bureaucratic speak. And then I was thinking,
Yep.
I wonder if the bro knows what he's saying.
Did you not see me? I got my pen, I went down here and I started writing because I was like, I am noting that down, duly noted. OIA. Ministry of Health, $1.9 billion spend. Please tell me where the money went. I thought that what was interesting with it is, I don't know obviously the details of how it all works super internally, but he basically said that there's more than enough money. It's just been spent insanely, horrendously bad in his opinion for it. But the danger with governments, with stuff like this, is when you've got sort of, they must hate him so much for how gnarly he rolls outside of the system, that he's so, I guess, you know, they would see him as some type of threat. And, you know, when he goes on his little rants, it's like, you know, he's so passionate about it, it would just make sense to try and work with people that try to help instead of against them, because clearly he's frustrated now having to go back channel a whole bunch of different articles on the mainstream when his intent is there. He cares more than genuinely most flipping people that I've ever met. So, you know, whether it's an ego or a process thing, I mean, you know, so yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Have you read the report? 1,000 letters?
No.
Heavy.
But what I would say, I bet.
Heavy.
I bet. What I would say about his role is, I don't think it's necessarily that a government or any government would hate him. But if we look through history, it's always been up to single people or small groups to really fundamentally make change. You know, you look at the wahine that's on our $10 note, Kate Shepherd. You know, she was the one who was there petitioning to make sure that women had the vote. You know, he's not unique in that it does take, like, generally a couple of or single passionate people to really push for change. And we've just seen that happen time and time and time again, and it's going to happen in the future.
Oh, I love it that when you're passionate and you just start sending it, and you just don't, because I think what's so clear with him, and, you know, we've broke down a little bit, is his why is so pure that he's willing to get steamrolled from anyone everywhere the entire time, because, as he said, he's on the front line seeing it, you know. So no, I will definitely be looking into this OI. It's actually maybe Section 161, Official Information Act, I believe.
Section, it's not a very big act. It doesn't have that many sections.
No, I'm just looking at the comments to make it look smarter. Politics this week. What have we seen? What's bubbling? What would you like to talk about, Miss Holly Bennett?
The key thing was the leaders' debate.
Yes. So external, I had a group chat that was going on with some Kiwis, and they were not impressed with a certain individual. But then I saw another post on LinkedIn, which was very clear that LinkedIn and the streets felt one way, Facebook felt another way. It felt like there were two different sort of, reflection points that were happening from both. What did you think happened?
Now, I have to be fully transparent.
Oh, shit. Who paid you?
I wish.
Oh, sorry. Don't turn too soon. You haven't got to the end result yet.
No, fully transparent is that as much as I love politics, sometimes I have a life, and I did go out to dinner on that evening on Tuesday night. What? So I didn't watch the debate.
Your job is political consulting in the world. This is what you do. I respect that. From what you've seen and heard, what did the streets say? Who did the streets say won? Who did Inside say won?
And this is what I'm saying. When you haven't seen it, you only get to hear snippets. And actually the reality is that most people base their opinions on what they hear rather than what they actually see. So from what I hear is that there was no clear winner in the debate, because I guess the traditional thing is from a debate, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But they did say that they thought that, from what I heard, is that Judith Collins put on the better showmanship that evening. And then the flip side of that is that I heard that the Labour leader looked, so Jacinda looked tired, and a comment I heard was like lackluster. And then I always think about the reality that's sitting in behind with human beings. And I know how tired I'm feeling due to COVID. And I only have my small little space in the world. So I can't imagine how the people who are running the ship are feeling right now. So I think that perhaps the Labour leader could be forgiven for being a little bit fatigued, and then I wait to be flamed in the comments for that. However, that's my view.
The other bit that I saw is I think the political social troll of the year, old mate Seymour, has been looks like he's steadily climbing in the ranks with ACT. Is that a fair statement? Is he starting to gain some traction?
7%. 7%.
Now, what shows how much I know. In the last election, what percent were they?
I think he was... Oh, well, so he's got his seat, so he'll be in Parliament if the voters of Epsom vote him back in.
Got it.
So then any additional party vote that relates to how many additional people he can bring in on his list. And so if you think about the Greens and New Zealand First, they run entirely list processes in terms of they don't have any seats. So they rely on party vote percentage to get them in.
Yep.
So last election didn't get enough party vote for ACT to get any additional members in. So it was still just Seymour on his seat of Epsom.
Yep.
Under 7%, I think he can bring in 9.
9 people?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, wow. So he's going to maybe go from like 1 to 10.
Yeah. I think all might be
Damn.
9, including himself, yeah.
Good on him. I mean, I think as out of the stuff I've seen so far, his social game looks strong. And then also I saw his interview with you, and he just looks like kind of a good bastard as well. So I'm stoked that he's getting a bit more airtime. It's cool.
Yeah, on the Political Power Hour, which everyone can go check out if they want to see him back in March, pre-COVID.
Plug. What else is bubbling? What's the next big thing happening in politics that we need to be aware of, or think about, or look at?
I'm not too sure. I think everyone, well, at least from what I'm seeing, are quite fatigued, really, and we're still 3 weeks away from the election, so we've still got a long slog to get there. 17th.
17th, yeah, got it. Did you tell me to watch that Hey Chloe thing? Was that you who told me to watch that? That little 8-minute doco thing on Chloe Swarbrick. Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, watch it. It's actually, because I've never met her, don't know her, friends know her, and it was actually quite a cool thing of just a different young buck female in the space, just rolling different and doing stuff, and it was a really cool insight to see how from a, I don't know if she's deemed as a maverick, but young buck, whatever it is in that world, I thought it was a pretty cool kind of look behind the curtain of a young politician trying to change the game and do things differently. It was super cool. It was called Hey Chloe. Was it OK Chloe? Like OK Boomer or something. It was like OK Chloe or something. It was something like that, the name of it. It was pretty cool. Okay, cool. So as it stands, from the word on the street, who do you think is going to win the election?
Oh, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking me that.
That's because this is your job and you didn't even watch the last debate. Holly,
yeah, but I was having an amazing dinner supporting New Zealand's hospitality sector.
Oh, yeah. Fair call. Was it drive-through KFC? What were you doing?
You don't tell people that.
Oh, sorry. Your ponds are be massive. No, touche. Who's going to win the election? I really don't know. So the reason why I say this is because in 2017, National was polling at around 46%. And the thing that blindsided me about the 2017 election was that I did not see the Māori Party disappearing. Ooh. Oh, yep. Okay.
And they disappeared. They lost. So the leader, Te Uraroa Flavel, lost his seat, Wairiki, which is the seat around where my whānau is from, Rotorua. And Māori Party disappeared, went out of Parliament. And I did not see that happening. And so I didn't call that, and I try to keep involved and see what's happening across all facets of politics. And so to see whether or not, try call it this year, now I think, oh, well, your guess is as good as mine, because at the end of the day, it's just a guess. Because I was absolutely certain that Māori Party was going to return last year, and then last election, and they didn't.
Are they trying back for this year?
Yeah.
Who's going for it? Who's the boss?
So old mate John Tamahere is co-leader.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm out of the loop. Oh, jeez.
So hopefully, fingers crossed. So he's co-leader. And so fingers crossed, I'm hosting a deputy leaders debate next week on Wednesday, 9 till 10. So we've got Calvin Davis confirmed, and hopefully JT will turn out for that as well. So we'll have a nice kōrero 9 till 10 via online with the deputy leaders. So hopefully Jerry will come as well, and hopefully Brooke from ACT will come, and we can talk about all things as a deputy, sort of what it means and what their visions are for the country.
I will give you a awesome. I was gonna ask one quick thing.
Yes.
I heard there was some big sort of social beef that was happening between two people that I know recently, and you know how I get these ideas in my head and I just go for it.
Yeah.
So what I had an idea is I've bought like a full American style NFL referee shirt, like a white and black full American style referee shirt. And I want to do a Robett Live debate with two individuals and literally sit in the middle and let them go at it. And it's not necessarily it's like personal attacks or whatever. It's the fact of where is like long form real chat that you could say real shit and for things that I think are pretty important that enable everyone to actually have their own, have their say and get their opinion out there regardless what it is. Because of the part of my little reason for it is I've just been watching a little bit of how this whole censorship mentality is starting to happen from bigger platforms. And then I've been thinking about, well, where's the space that people actually go and actually save an opinion, whether they're right or wrong, like where can they truly go? So would you think that would be a good idea to potentially try and set up something like that? Would that be dangerous or would that be pretty good?
It's up to the individuals at the end of the day. And I don't know who these individuals are. I perhaps have a fair idea, but I'm not going to say it. And so it's whether or not they view that to be a good thing for not only business but personal brand and all of those kind of things, and then they can back themselves to be on a platform in that way and let you sort of like fan the flames.
No, safely moderate in a controlled environment where they know that I'm probably crazier than them, so it will be totally even. I love your work,
one
Holly.
Thing,
sorry,
can I just say before? I'm like, come on, let me do it.
Sorry.
I saw that Labour has just announced. So when you talked about the censorship around platforms, Labour has just announced something around hate speech. Trying to, if they were back in government in this next term, to reduce the criticism on religious groups. Which to me fundamentally sounds like a huge erosion of your freedom of speech. Because
this is exactly the thing that I'm talking about for the States, because the beef, there's a big thing happening. Joe Rogan left from YouTube to Spotify, fine. It shifted over and a whole bunch of the episodes went on there because for guidelines, whatever. And now they're trying to censor who comes on, what can they say, whatever. And he's sitting there like, what the fuck? But it's the point of however that deal is structured is going to set the precedent for all the other things of, so now platforms decide if I want to talk to some crazy nut job or not, and platforms decide if it's going to get monetized and I lose 30 million, blah, blah, blah. So no, keep tabs on this because I think it's very and extremely important. I think it's really important.
So my great-grandfather was the first Anglican bishop of Aotearoa. So we have a long history of being Anglicans. I'm an atheist personally, an agnostic atheist.
Are you really? I don't know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
But the thing I like about, but I don't have any qualms with anyone else that they want to live their life by whatever religion, whether it's Christianity, like Buddhism, whatever, like Scientology, like fill your boots. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. But give me the right to be able to make opinions based on what other people are putting out there. Like, isn't that the whole job of when we own our own speech? Therefore, let me make decisions based on what people say. Because everyone sort of worries about, if they go and say that. I'm like, if somebody says something stupid, I'm then going to say that was stupid in my head and be like, okay, now I know something about you, right?
Got it.
Let us fundamentally make up our own minds about what we think about people and their comments, because things that I might think are stupid, another person might be like, that is such a great idea. And, that's okay.
We're going to go back on this. I'm interested.
Yeah, I think we should.
Love your work, Holly. Be good. What would you like to leave? I'll give you claps, and then maybe
my
some,
whanonga. They're not in. Yeah. Yes. My whanonga.
How good is that? And then I forgot the. Oh, come on. All right. See ya, Holly.
Ka kite.
Love your work. Champ, Holly Bennett, legend. Oh, good show today. We're rolling it. And then LinkedIn user says, agnostic, atheist, don't those conflict ideologically. Well, LinkedIn user, I don't know what 3 of those words properly mean, so don't know the answer. Sorry about that, but I'll ask Holly. Next up, we have good friend, Cassie Roma. She is not in the office. She wasn't going for a run. From all accounts, she's somewhere on the beach, I believe, and we can't unmute your guest because she is okay. Cassie, you're on. You need to unmute yourselves. Where are you? That looks amazing. I'll give you claps.
Surely you can hear me. Surely you can hear me.
Yeah, I got you now.
So here we
Where
are.
Are you?
Yeah,
we've got. I didn't realize
I'm on mission.
Remote.
I always get it mixed up. Mission Bay, Mission Beach. We are going remote because what I'm doing this morning is it's Mental Health Week, right? You had a great chat with Mike. So I'm going to teach a friend how to stand up paddleboard this morning.
Oh, what size board's that? Is that like a 12-footer? What do you got?
It's a 10-6. It's a 10-6, but we're not big people, so we'll be fine.
Okay, maybe I was just talking about what I needed. Okay, cool. Yeah, I digress.
Yeah.
So have you been there's a little bit of a lag because we're going mobile, but it's fine. How's the week been? What's the biggest thing that you'd like to talk about today on this this New Zealand Mental Health Week, or media or content or politics, whatever you'd like? What's bubbling?
Week's been fantastic. I loved listening to Mike this morning because I feel like a lot of us doing what we do have concentrated a lot more on having conversations that we needed to have. I love when he said we are all, what did he say? We are risk assessors or something like that. We're all trying to figure out how to mitigate risk in our daily life. And I was like, oh, hard. We are all risk mitigators right now. And this week's kind of been like that. I got up this morning and actually lectured a class in California of kids who are 14 to 18. And we talked about mental health, and we talked about the journey and professionalism in school. And Mike's right, man. We are just getting in the way of our kids sometimes. They're going to be fine. Like, such a heartfelt thing to hear young people asking deep questions. So I feel like maybe we're doing a good job with our young people when it comes to professional life and personal life and mental health.
Maybe jumping on the back end of what me and Holly were just talking about, do you have any thoughts or anything around the idea of censorship platforms and what are you doing? Is that Nika?
That's yeah.
Oh jeez. Tell her I'm sorry.
She looks awesome. She looks fantastic.
Oh jeez. She got a little 3-2 on. What
That's
she got?
Right. That's right.
Is it a 3-2? I think she does.
She's got a 3-2. She's got a 3-2. I'll help her. I'm gonna help her zip it up. Just we're gonna be like, just don't want to get your skin, bro. Yeah. She's in. I didn't take off half of her back.
Anika.
Look, good girl. Hi, Anika. Yes.
Hello.
Hey, this is my office today. This is my office.
Good.
Yeah.
Thoughts, platform censorship, anything that you think might be bubbling in the ether, which may have an impact on content creators, media marketing, free speech, you being American, everything else. Any thoughts?
It's a bit of a shit show right now overseas, isn't it? After the Breonna Taylor stuff that's going on in the States right now, I couldn't even start to think about platform censorship and all of the litigation that's going to start happening because, we can't even get civil rights, right? So this week's been a big look at that for me. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, when we think about platforms, we think about data, and we think about all of the things that we do business on, that we connect on, that we have conversations on. They're always going to change. They're always going to move. But we have a chance right now to make them better for the future and to build them better. So my heart's in like an optimistic space. It's heavy, but it's optimistic. That's where I am this week, Robett.
No, that's good. Best thing you've seen this week, which made you smile?
Oh, mate, probably just what happened behind me there. Oh, mate.
You've got a good view there.
How about you?
You're
What's
on
been the
fire.
best thing in your week? Yeah. What's been the best part of your week?
Best part was, well, it's not that it's, well, my 3-year-old can legitimately beat me in this card matching game, and you have like different things on each card. She genuinely beat me.
Yeah.
And I was so
Memory.
dark because
Yeah.
I'm so competitive, and my brain can't see the same thing. And so I sat there and I was like, well, I'm being totally serious, Cassie. She spotted it before I did, and I was trying really, really, really hard. So I got super dark, and then I got really proud. I'm like, shit, if she's 3 and can already beat me, I think I'm going to be absolutely fine. So that was probably
There's
one of the
your
funnest
future.
things this week. There's my future.
Right? So we're both seeing the beauty in our next generations.
That's it. I will leave you to your awesomeness that's about to ensue. Send me a photo. Tell Anika I said hi, and stay out of mischief. Be good, and I'll talk to you next week.
Lots of mischief. See you, bro. See you next week.
Love your work.
Bye.
Cassie at Mission Bay, going water paddleboarding, going supping with a good friend of Nika Moa. That's us for the day. I really, really want next time we're going to go deeper with Mike King on the vents and the rambles. I think that was absolutely epic. The political debate, if you watched it, who do you think won? Genuinely, who do you think will win the next election? It is, the older you get, the more it matters, because every single thing that touches your life is in some way connected somehow to politics. So it's slowly, and it's great. Every single week I get to learn more and more through Holly and all the other bits and pieces. And then Cassie and marketing. And just one thing I genuinely have been thinking about is this potential power struggle of free speech, which is starting to happen. And lines get drawn on platforms. And obviously, we're in New Zealand, little old New Zealand, but it does matter, because the second that, publicly listed companies can start deciding who can say what on what platforms at what time, who, what, where, when, who isn't allowed to have a say, it goes away from the fact that anyone can have their thoughts. Now, regardless whether you are right or whether you're wrong, you all have a right to an opinion. Even if you're a muppet kook that doesn't know what they're talking about, you have a right to have that opinion, 100%. And if you feel the other way, but I don't think it feels right that other people, companies that are publicly listed can say, oh no, you actually can't have that guest on. Oh, hey, you actually can't say this thing if that's your opinion. Now, if it's, horrible, bad shit, blah, blah, I get that, but they can get flagged. But yeah, it's a dangerous slope that we might be heading down if big corps start telling me or any creator or someone listening what you can and can't see, what you can and can't consume, because you've got a right to the opinion, you've got a right to be able to say it. So I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a good day, rest of the week, and I'll see you all soon. Big thanks to our guests, friends who came on the 1 minute pitch. Mike King, New Zealander of the Year, huge. If you get a chance, go check out the 1,000 letters. Just Google that up, amazing. And also to Holly, Bennett and Cassie Roma for joining in today. This is pretty cool. I'm happy with the format of how this is rolling. And also I've got some homework. I need to do a OIA on the Ministry of Health $1.9 billion spend for to see what is happening there. Okay. Cheers, team. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. Peace.